My name is Darrell Holland, and I would like to welcome you to another educational video by the American Gunsmithing Institute. I will be your instructor today, showing you the ins and outs of pillar bedding. I have over 15 years of experience in pillar bedding rifles and have perfected the technique as well as devised a lot of tips and pointers that I will share with you today to help you bed your rifle precisely. Remember, it is important that if you have a high-quality barreled action, it will not shoot to its potential unless it is bedded correctly. So hang tight, we'll get started and show you some ins and outs of pillar bedding, and in an hour or two you will become an expert like myself. We'll deal with components primarily, as it is important if you do have a mill that we set the stock up parallel in the mill, because we're going to be machining these cavities around the front of the receiver ring and then in the back around the tang area. And remember, when we had scribed around our tang area, this is going to come into play now. We do not want to machine outside of that area. So let's flip the switch on the mill and we'll machine these cavities out. Watch closely. We'll want to machine them out relatively deep so we have room for a lot of bedding material. If you're doing a wood stock, it is important that you remove. All right, let's take a minute. We'll install the aluminum columns. This is where you really appreciate our quality screws that we provide with the aluminum columns. They're straight. The 82-degree counterbore will center the column on the receiver. They're a real joy to work with. They're not like some of the aftermarket screws that as you screw them into the action, they're trying to do figure eights, or they screw in part way and lock up because the thread pitch isn't correct. We just want to snug those aluminum columns to the receiver a little bit. Don't twist the head of the screws off. We'll take our stock, set it over the top, and okay, the tools that you're going to need for this job are a file. I use a couple of them. Little pillar file works really good for those delicate work. Then we've got a coarse double cut file that we'll use to bulk the remainder out. Okay, it's real important that as we work along this area that we work from the inside of the stock out when we file to keep from chipping and breaking that edge off. So very gently with the coarse file, we're going to remove a bulk of that bedding compound along the top. Then we'll go in with our pillared file and finalize it. We're going to torque the screws to 30 inch-pounds. You can see our 82-degree counterboard screw in place with a nice aluminum escutcheon there. It makes for a very professional looking job. We'll insert our inch-pound torque wrench and torque the front screw to 30 inch-pounds. The same with the rear. Okay, anytime that you're torquing guard screws,